Good morning, everyone. It's an honor to be invited as a speaker in this prestigious international platform. As I unfold the course of my journey, let's embark on my story. Like an origami creating intricate shapes and forms from a simple piece of paper. So I have been told by TEDx to share my travelogue here. So please pardon me if I sound excessively self-obsessed on hitting my own drums. I am an Indian author. I have written more than 25 published books and I write in Bengali. My works have been translated worldwide by global publishers like HarperCollins, made into several OTTs, podcasts, and movies. And in this digital era, I earn seven-figure royalty every year from my printed books. I am quite popular in reader cycle and I am followed by lakhs of readers in social media and I am the one who gets often attacked too. I was hugely trolled by entire social media when one of my publishers arranged security guard just to manage the crowd for my autographs. By profession, I am a government officer. I cleared 8 government jobs within 1 year without any coaching and along with my full-fledged IT job. I left my high salaried IT and bank PO job just to serve our nation as a government officer. I am a mother of a 4 years old and I was in full ventilation just 1 year back. And at one point of time, everyone thought probably I would never be able to come back. Spoiler alert, I did. Friends, let me tell you my story. This story is full of triumphs and turmoils, ups and downs, so many obstacles, so many failures, and so many variables. But a few things have remained constant even today. Unconditional optimism and never ever giving up. Around 34 years ago, I was born in a Bengali Brahmin family in a rural Bengali village of West Bengal. My family belonged to a purely mediocre society who used to think education is the only key by which we can excel. My father was a central government employee. He had huge and several family liabilities. I never got any positive or neither got any luxury. I needed to study in kerosene lights or hurricanes while there is huge load shedding in our rural panchayat area. I was a very ordinary girl and I was never ever a topper. I managed to score average marks in totals and good marks in English, mathematics, and Bengali. But I was brought up, I'm so much fortunate to be brought up in such a family where I never had to face any kind of gender discrimination. I never listened that you are a girl, you have to get married. My grandfather, he was in Second World War, later joined Indian National Army with Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. And after India's independence, he had to face huge poverty. Still, my grandparents managed to make all of their children, including 4 daughters, financially independent, that too 50 or 60 years ago. My parents admitted me in a local government Bengali medium school, and as I earlier said, I was never a topper. But I have a little bit of stammering in my childhood, but without any inhibitions. I used to participate in quizzes, debates, and many kind of cultural activities. And by the grace of God, the stammering went away automatically along with age. I was a happy and inquisitive child, and then comes my horrific adolescence. I used to study in a government girls' school where all of my classmates had their period by 12 or 13 years age. I didn't have my period for a long time until my 15 years of age. Moreover, my body had no feminine features. I was extremely thin and I used to go to coaching riding a jet cycle and I had a boyish haircut. I was astonished to discover that the male friends of mine with whom I used to study together, used to play together, they suddenly started to see me in a different eye that I didn't develop like their other female friends, which was indeed very unlikely for them. And I was hugely being body shamed by my friends, some of my relatives, some of my teachers. I can recall Shadi was our school uniform. One day, an old teacher said to me in front of 100 students that, "Why do you wear Shadi? You have no curves at all." And getting so much body shape, my self-esteem also started to drop into zero. I also started to believe that I definitely had some biological problems. That no internet. That times there was no mental health counselors in schools. So I was absolutely low, and whenever someone laughing in front of me, I used to imagine they definitely they are laughing at me. Enduring the pain for months, when I was in class 12, one day I gathered courage and shared the pain with my mother. My mother listened everything and said to me that everyone has different clocks in their body of growth, in their journey in life, in their success path. All will strike 12 one day, surely, but not necessarily together. Be patient and be fulfilled with perseverance. But I was not listening to my mother. I was crying profusely, but Ma, I'm very much boyish, I'm ugly. My mother said to me, beauty is God given, you can do nothing about it. But the work you are going to do in this planet, that is your ultimate ornaments by which you can beautify yourself, your inner thoughts, your personality, your morals, your values. That will make you distinguished from thousands of people, and that will be your actual beauty, not the external beauty, not the dressing sense. You are now a caterpillar, make yourself into a beautiful butterfly. And during this transition, whatever others say, just don't care. That thing my mother's words came as a sharp jab to me. I promised to myself that I will accomplish, I will achieve so much in my life that my external beauty will stay away in shame. And I started a journey, I embarked on a journey of self-improvement, being a rural Panchayat area, medium girl. I started to groom myself all alone. My communication, my appearance, my knowledge, everything. As I already told, I was never ever a topper. I couldn't manage to make it to the elite engineering colleges of the country. I got admitted in a government, central government engineering colleges, and after 4 years, only 2 students were selected by an IT firm from the entire college, and I was one of them. I joined as a computer engineer in an IT company at the age of 21 years, so 21 years, and very soon I realized that this is not something I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I always started for something special, aspired to be someone special. I started preparing for UPSC, but I could not clear the UPSC interview in the first year, my maiden and only attempt. But I managed to clear 8 government jobs, including IBPS PO, SBI PO, LIC AO, WPCA, CSIRPS, UIIC AO, etc. And I joined the Nationalized Bank as a probationary officer. Simultaneously, I was running a WordPress blog where I used to upload supplementary tricks and guidance for the aspirants who couldn't afford the coaching. That time there was no YouTube. There was only WordPress blog, and that time in 2012, I can recall, there was more than 20,000 students in my WordPress blog. I was in my early 20s, I was earning well as a bank officer, I was helping aspirants, everything was going great. But in my inner mind, I was feeling restless. I never wanted a life of now passion. And I always remember, I was helping aspirants keeping in the mind down, it's the pay back to society. As I studied in a government engineering college, it's my duty to pay back to society through something. And also I remember the Swami Vivekananda words that when you are born here, don't forget to mark your steps here. So I was searching for a window, and I was creative since my childhood. I was literally creative, and I used to write short stories in my class 1, 2, 3. And that time there was no computer at home. My father used to take print out from his office and giving it a A4 size shape and staple it on the title page in my name like it is a original book, and I used to become elated with joy. And after that, in my class 6, 7, 8, 9, I won a few prizes in creative writing contests. After a long decade, I returned to my first love. By the end of 2016, my first novel, it was a supernatural thriller over science, history, and cryptography, was published, and by the grace of God, it was an instant hit. After that, 7 long years passed, and in these 7 long years, more than 25 published books. My entire life has been changed. I do inaugurate numerous book fairs around the country as a chief guest. I do metro book signing tour in the metro cities. I do interact with my millions of readers. I deliver hour-long lectures in education, spiritual institutions. In the meantime, I left my bank PO job and joined government sector as a government officer. After this, when life was extremely busy, you must agree that along with a full-time government administrative officer job, maintaining a full-fledged literary and speaking career is not an easy thing. By the end of 2019, I became a mother, and I used to juggle my family, my baby, my job, my events, my writings, etc. I was supposed to conduct, I was awarded with numerous awards like Indian Express Devi Award, Tagore Shamman, Most Inspirational Women, etc. And I was supposed to conduct a 3-day literary workshop in a world-famous writers' residency, being the first ever Bengali author over there by the end of 2020. And then comes the most intense attack of my life. One morning, at the end of 2022, after waking up from bed, I realized that I can't walk, even I can't sense my legs. My legs were completely numbed. And within a couple of hours, the numbness spread up to my neck. I was rushed to hospital by ambulance, and I couldn't my eyes, the eyelids, the muscles adjacent to the eyelids were also got numb. I was given to ventilation. I was having excessive respiratory problems, and after 7 days of admission, I was diagnosed with a very rare autoimmune disease called Guillain-Barré syndrome, in short, GB syndrome. This is a very rare autoimmune disease where your body immune system becomes your enemy and it attacks the peripheral nerves. And my entire life was shattered. All the programs in the pipelines were cancelled. And at the same time, a voice had been spread throughout the media that this is entirely false news. I'm creating this drama just to catch the eyeballs, stay in the limelight. And the treatment, the IVIG treatment, that was very painful and very costly. And along with works was spreading like fire. As I already said, that writing words travel faster than light. Along with millions of readers, I grabbed one person haters who were blabbermouthing in social media, who were spreading the gossips, who were misleading people. And they couldn't understand one thing. They were full of devilish joy, though they are very few in numbers, but they were full of devilish joy. They couldn't understand one thing, that someone other's pain, someone other's trouble, someone other's problem, or someone else's failure is not your success. In my entire life, I never ever had to belittle anyone. I remained truthful to myself, and I raised my voice against any injustice or wrong deeds. I was fighting death fighting with death in hospital, and my parents, my family, my husbands, my in-laws, they were taking care of my baby and attending the media calls for the authentication of the news. Even my doctors got calls for the cross-checking. After 3 to 4 months of completely bedridden condition and numerous neuromedicine and physiotherapy, I was slowly returning back to my normal life. I started with a pet child walking, but I started walking again in walker along with the help of my baby boy. And I was flooded with emails, love from my readers. I was flooded with puja flowers, emotional emails, prayers, etc. And after 5 long months, I resumed my office again. I will resume my writing again. They say, Devarati Mukhopadhyay is, I said, I'm a phoenix, that I rise that who rises from the ashes again and again. Doctors say, you need to continue your new medicine for a long time. I learned swimming in this weak, disbalanced body in this 35 years age. And the children who were like learning with me, at first they were surprised. And after that, they were encouraging me wholeheartedly. Now I swim 1 hour daily. I no longer need to take any medicines. And after this coming from the prolonged ventilation, I see my life as an extended innings, as a second innings, as a reincarnation. This illness has changed completely my life, my perspective towards. Earlier, I used to react easily, I used to get hurt easily whenever someone hurts me. But now I have learned to increase my patience. I used to learn to stay steady and calm, and also I believe in good karma. I have realized that people will going to remember your kindness, not your achievements. And after that, after 1 year of gap, my 430 pages novel has been published this year. Balance Sheet. It is a rural banking sector novel which will unfold the spirituality along with the closed currents. And it was an instant commercial and critical bestseller. One of the English publishers from the world made a 5-book settlement with me for global translation. And one of the government university researcher got his PhD degree researching over one of my novels. My hands are full with new novels, new movie adaptations, speeches across the country and abroad, and my new office assignments. I'm extremely thankful to God. To me, success is not expecting others' failure. Success is to live with integrity, to do something which will ignite your soul, and to embrace, to surround yourself with gratitude, empathy, and compassion. Friends, I would like to tell you all, evolve at least 1% every day, live like a warrior, make all of your roots into wisdom, and uh, so instead of squandering in small talks, try to spend at least 1 hour in nature every day because our life is so much short, so small compared to the millions of life, the sun, the moon, the universe gave. At that time, we will realize how precious our time is. And never ever give up how advanced the situation is because remember the lotus always goes up in mud. So you can also grow up in an advanced environment. Behind my success, there is at least 10 times failures. There are numerous failures in the back of my success. And never give up and never reconcile, never compromise your morality to reconcile a toxic relationship. Never ever go in contact with any negative-minded people. And you may be born as ordinary, but make sure to die as an extraordinary. Because to be extraordinary, that doesn't mean that you have to get an IQ like Albert Einstein, or you have to get the biceps like Schwarzenegger, or you have to win the Nobel Prize. Extraordinary is just the one step ahead of the ordinary. Keeping your body and mind healthy, helping and loving others, all this contributed to the self-love, also continuous working for your self-improvement. All this contribute to self-love. Nowadays, self-love is misunderstood by the luxury, the hedonism, the self-centeredness, but self-love is not that. In which form you see yourself, which form you can be proud of yourself, that is self-love. And please work continuously for your self-improvement. And another thing I want to share that whenever you will see the that is getting judgmental to you, that is making you depressed, just avoid the people and focus on your own shamelessly. Remember that people remember your donors. There are to Marie Curie, from Galileo to Nelson Mandela, all were being ruled brutally. People never remember their history, never remember their progress. People are going to remember your works, your acts, your deeds. So focus on your goal shamelessly, and perseverance in the time. Perseverance is the ultimate origami goal. Keep patience and remember my mother's word. Everyone's clock is ticking differently in their way of process. If there is battery, I mean energy, all will strike 12 one day, but not necessarily together. Be patient and don't forget laughing because laughter is the main glue which will tight your origami, hold your origami together. When life throws you a curveball, make sure to turn it into a beautiful swan, graceful, elegant, and ready to take flight. Thank you.